Hi there, my name is Kaylee.
My name is Shay.
And we're tackling some big debt.
And some big breakfasts in the Big Apple.
Oh.
It is breakfast.
It's breakfast. It's Tuesday breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
It is June 11th, and we are here to talk about last month's savings challenge, spending challenge, interchangeably.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a challenge every month in the year 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Last year we did a bunch of annual challenge, we did a big annual challenge, and that turns out way harder to focus on one thing for a whole year than many things for 1 month. You know? So we're trying that out, and I think it's going well. Yeah. But let's see. We're going to discuss how May's went. So in the month of May, we were doing our Wyatt Savings Boost.
Yes.
As a reminder, who is Wyatt and why are we saving for him? Wyatt is my cousin's son. Technically my first cousin, but more like my nephew because me and my cousin grew up together. So he's my nephew for all intents and purposes.
Yes.
We love him. He's a good kid. He's 9 years old, and we're just saving.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to do something cool when he's, closer to college age. And it's, I always think giving kids money, while they appreciate it in the moment, he spent that, we sent him $20 for his birthday, and he spent that on Roblox for sure.
He did.
For sure. Which is fine. That brings him joy, and that's what little things like that are for. But we would still like to save on the side and get, just have something to be able to do something cool at the end of being a child. How will we save? We just saved a little bit in a lot of different categories and did a budget sweep at the end of the month to see what we had left. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we really had an overall goal.
At the beginning of the month, I recall saying that our overall goal was to save $20 from each of our life categories.
Yeah, I think we were shooting for $200 or something overall, which, minimal, but doable.
Yeah.
We had a massive success in some other months, and I think massive success is defined differently for each of these challenges. Because, I'm not trying to save $3,000 in a month for Wyatt right now. Not the focus, not the overall goal. So, how'd it go?
It went all right.
I think it went okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think it went not incredibly. I think it didn't. We saved over $200 total for the month, but that's including the regular amount that we always save for him.
Mm-hmm.
Our extra we put towards it was $160 something, which is great.
Yeah.
But I think it went just okay.
Yes.
I would say the saving a little bit in a lot of different categories method didn't work too good.
No.
Overall.
No. The minute I walk away from the computer, I don't even know what those categories are.
Yeah, and I think we do better with a singular focus, it seems to me.
I think most people do better with a singular focus.
Yeah, I think I was hoping that it would feel a little less pressure if we spread it across multiple categories.
I was also hoping that.
And it did, in that I felt none.
Mm-hmm.
And we just were spending regular. Whereas I think when we have a singular focus, it's easy to go we can't, or we don't want to do this one thing because we're going to save that money for Wyatt. But instead it was I'm going to do this a little bit, but not all the way. It just wasn't super functional for us. Which is not surprising, I think, to either one of us. I think even in the beginning I was I don't know how this is going to go, but we're going to try it. And we tried it. Which is the point of these challenges, is to try things and see what works for us and see where things land.
Yeah, hashtag try it for Wyatt.
That's good. Whoa. Yeah, we tried it. It didn't work out super great. It didn't do terribly. It wasn't $0.
Yeah.
But it was just okay.
Yes. I would also say that.
What would you suggest we try differently for next time?
Next time we want to save extra money specifically for Wyatt?
Not necessarily. For our next challenge that is not hyper-focused. I think we have some more challenges coming up that are not category-specific.
Mm-hmm.
We have, the back half of the year still. So I think there's 1 or 2 left that are not category-specific.
Yeah. I mean, I have an idea, but you probably won't like it.
I would like to hear it.
I think that we should put a note next to sort of the way you do with your student loans, where you put the dollar amount that we want total for the month next to the title. And then
Like,
set aside a little bit every week. Even though you don't like to do that.
I don't know what you're saying. I have no idea what you're saying.
Like, whatever category it is that we want to save for. You know, so like if we had done this with Wyatt, we would have put Wyatt, parentheses, the total amount that we want to be in that category for the month.
Oh, so instead of assigning it to the actual thing, oh no, that's dumb. So instead of assigning, like if we want to save a little bit from eating out, a little bit from this and that, so instead of assigning it to eating out and then sweeping it at the end of the month, assign it directly to the category.
Yeah.
And like, so just leave the other ones under, like, oh, don't fund them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's a way to do it, for sure. Any ideas about the execution of that? Because we were just spending.
I think that's a question, that's like a conversation that we can have at the beginning of the week, you know? Say, like, normally we put, $30 in a bunch of those categories at the beginning of the week. So we put $25 in all of those categories at the beginning of the week. And then everything that's left over we put in Wyatt instead.
Okay. And then we just have to have a little bit of willpower and just don't spend money that we don't have.
Well, I mean, that's just the daily life practice of only spending what we have assigned.
Yeah, I think the daily life practice part of it all is something that we need to work on in general across the whole budget.
We need to practice daily in life, even.
Hey. Yeah, I think that's just a note from this whole experience that, like, only spending what we have when it's already in the category and not going, well, there's money coming down the pipeline. Well, we've got some other categories that are a little, like, sticking to what we have budgeted. Because, like, we have a good plan. We just don't follow it super often.
I think we do. I think our willpower diminishes.
Overspending right now?
Huh?
You want to look at our overspending right now?
I think it's just, like, we're in a completely different frame of mind when the weather gets nice.
It's so true.
And I don't think that that's something to get super puritanical about, in my opinion.
I think we just need to work on budgeting realistically and maybe chilling on where we're the overspending a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I think that, like, sticking to what the budget says a little bit closer will be helpful, especially when it comes to these little savings challenges and savings boosters and student loans and stuff like that.
I agree with you.
I agree with you.
I think you're beating yourself up.
I'm not beating myself up at all.
Okay.
All right. Let's look at what it actually is in this little account now. So we keep our high yield savings account in its own little budget away from the regular budget because this money, the money doesn't need to get to know each other. So our emergency fund, Wyatt, the cats, all those things. You also store extra sinking fund money in here when we have it because I like it to make that sweet, sweet high yield savings account interest. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So right now I have this broken down in a little bit of a wacky way. So the goal, the overall savings that we're doing is Wyatt's age every week, right? So right now he's 9, we're saving $9 a week. But I put these little categories in here to show if we had started this when he was born, when he was a baby, when I was in college and poor, so obviously I didn't, what would each year look like, And so now I'm filling it from bottom to top, so that way as we get closer, we can see if we're caught up. And again, I've been saying, caught up is not a real thing. I'm not behind because I didn't know I wanted to do this until like this year. So like it's not behind. I like to track it this way. And so we have now done from birth through 3 years old, mm-hmm. which is very cool. And in the other budget, I save $9 a week. And when it gets like over $50 or whatever, I just move it in here and we just stack it on up. I liked doing this. It makes me happy to do this. We've got $364 set aside from just the last couple months towards being able to do something cool for Wyatt. Buy him a laptop, buy his books for the first semester of college. Like, I don't know, but it's cool.
Yeah.
And it makes me happy. As Becky from The Good Midlife Crisis would say, all the money for all the nephews. All right, I feel good about it. The next challenge for June is what, my love?
Get married.
Just get married and live through it. Survive. If we have any extra money in any categories, which I think we might because we're going to be at your parents' house for a good chunk of change, just honeymoon money. So a debrief at the end of June will probably just be like, did we make it? Which if only one of us is in the video, the answer is no. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. But yeah, get married, survive having my whole family here. That's June. This was May. And that's all from us.
Yes.
Have a wonderful rest of your week. We will see you on Friday.